Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. As you see, this is Alex.
Yep.
You might recognize him from the last two videos that you should check out right now if you haven't. And today we have something unique because there's not a lot of content creators that make stuff about the true amateur tournaments, but that is what we're doing today on lane 17. So we have a pattern that I created based on the specifications that TAT sent out, which is only the length, the volume, and so I every year just try to make a pattern that is similar enough to what I see on the information they release, and we're going to try it out. It's 37 feet and 29.5 mils, and let me tell you, this year is going to be a urethane fest. Does that sound like urethane to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He's a college bowler, so he knows the urethane deal. So yeah, with that said, I've got plenty of urethane to try. I have the new Storm Level. Just drilled it today right before I came here, literally 15 minutes before I came here. Yeah, with that said, we're going to try it out. We're going to see how much the gutter is actually in play, how much it's not, and we'll go from there. So you ready?
Yep, let's go.
Let's hit it. All right. For today's video, we're going to start with the level. So we're going to try the level. First couple shots on this pattern right now. First shot, we're going to try up the gutter and see what happens. Well, that's a great sign. I will admit too, so I've been asked to use the microphone today as I'm recording, just like I did in the last video. And I'm also wearing my Coolwick True Amateur Tournaments gear, sponsored by Roto Grip. That's a flat 10. So, just want to shout out Coolwick. Be sure to use code FloppyPenguin10 as you see on your screen now. If you would like 10% off for your next order from Coolwick.com. He definitely missed that one. But shout out to Coolwick, so you can look cool even while you're missing your spares. We're going to just try that again and keep breaking down the pattern a little bit there. Ooh, good thing I said we were breaking it down. You should see Alex's face. He had his jaw dropped. Okay. We'll eat through that with some surface. Speaking of surface, we are going to throw the IQ78U with a fresh 1000 grit on it and see what happens up the gutter. Oh, all right. So this pattern, just to inform you guys, so you guys can understand, this pattern I actually decided to try and make a little more difficult than I think it might actually be, but the tap pattern for this year is actually kind of difficult, if you don't know. But what I did was I added a little bit of volume to the outside, kind of like the pattern calls for, because I used the information that's available as my guide, and so I think it created a monster, because literally like one board left of that, I bet it's going to look great, but you get it like on the gutter, you're donezo. So let's see what happens if I move a little left. Let's see what Alex can do here. Black hammer. Oh, he's playing the gutter. See, but that looks all right. If you put a little surface on that, you'll get the 10 pin out all day. But see, that's the difference. Like if you go up the gutter, like 2, 3, 4, doesn't look so great. But you get a little left, like 5, I think that's where the wall is. So he's going to try and get this one a little further right. I don't think it's going to hook. Hence my point exactly. We're leaving that one in.
There's no free bounce.
Absolutely not. That sounds like something that they would do at the TAT. Is trick everyone into bringing a bunch of urethane balls to Vegas and take urethane out of play. That would actually be really funny. I am going to try the Zen U, my most hooking urethane, and slow it down and kind of see what happens before I put surface on it. I'm sure at 500 it might not be bad, but we'll see. I'm also going to move a touch left, hit 5 this time. Good shot. So that's very doable. You give me a little surface and I can throw normal speed there. That was the Zen U looking at 5, and I hit first arrow right where I wanted to, so I'm pleased with that reaction. All right, so now I put fresh 500 on my Zen U, and shout out to Abralon, who has sponsored this video, for all the pads I will be using throughout this video, because this pattern is going to need some surface, but I'm okay with that, because I like surface a lot. So normal speed, same line again, looking the first arrow. Pretty good shot. And it walks right in. Let's go, baby. So I love the surface play. So what we're looking at for me to take to Vegas is a bunch of Abralon pads and a bunch of rocks. So I can throw them and make them look like I rolled them in the parking lot before we bowled them. Because it's probably what it's going to take on this pattern, and I'm okay with that. We're going to move 1 and 1 left and hit 6 with the Zen U. Good shot. No hook. All right, we're going to try 7. I actually can't wait to see how this pattern actually plays, because I must say the Orleans in Vegas is notorious for a couple things. Definitely the gutter flying, and the slow wheel usually works pretty good there. Notoriously, I have bad carry there, so that sucks. But I could say this pattern's probably going to be pretty interesting there. Let's, or at least whatever pattern, you know, the tap pattern actually is. This is my best guess. Let's try 7, 1 and 1 left. Hit up on it a little bit. I paid for it. That one hooked, but I really hit that at the bottom. So now I'm gonna try the level. I'm gonna be standing on a 16 here. Targeting 6 straight up. Good shot. Okay, that's workable. That's workable. If I slow down a little bit, it'll be high flush. The only really unfortunate part about the TAD is the lanes never truly like break down, because you bowl so few games that even the qualifying squads that are on the double burn are not even burnt. So especially with 29.5 mils, I think that we'll be playing pretty close to fresh, I'm guessing. So we'll give it another shot. Let's try 6, but I'm going to slow it down. That one definitely hooked us 37 feet. So that tells me a good sign. I think if I keep my speed regular and I throw it from that same spot, I think we'll be okay. We're still throwing the storm level. The layout is a 70 by 4 1/4 by 50. And we are gonna still stand 16, look at 6. Normal speed on this one. Good shot. I'll take it. 10 back. That one felt really good. It was slightly up the lane, but that's what I wanted. What I've seen so far is you will be penalized for playing too far right. But if you find that niche area a little left of first arrow, I think you're fine. All right, so we're gonna try and move left, get away from the gutter, throwing the Effect Tour Edition from Hammer. Really excited about this one. I've got it pinned down. Layout is 40 by 4 3/4 by 70. So let's try hitting 11 at the arrows, standing 24. Good shot. Okay. That's kind of what I expected. The good news is I have a lot of balls that hook a lot less than that ball. So I think similar positioning as far as break point and arrows and standing, but a different ball. I want to try the Zen U first and then we'll try the level after that, and then we'll even try the IQ-AI. First up, we've got the Zen U from 900 Global. This one's got the pin in the ring finger to help it not hook as much, which has been great for me historically on this ball. So I'm gonna try the exact same spot. 24 with the feet, 11 with the target. Let's see. Oh, missed it a little left. And paid for it. There is a weird spot in this pattern, I must admit. If you really look at the breakdown of the mills, there's this weird load on the reverse pass that the machine makes from like the deeper inside lines around the 9 board. And it just is kind of weird on the right side. On the left side, it's all the way to 18. So there's something a little weird in the pattern that I don't understand, and I haven't really spent enough time designing patterns to know what it is or understand it better. But I think it's playing a part in this. Good shot. Ooh, not quite enough. So the good news is I have 2 options that are a little more ball than that. I have the sanded option, which is the level, and I have the shinier option at 4,000 grit, which is the IQ-AI. So let's try both of those now from the same spot. Level, I'm still standing 24, still looking at 11 at the arrows. Let's see. Man, I just miss a touch right down lane, and I pay for it. All right, so let's try the level. Still staying in the same spot, 24 at the boards here, the dots, and 11 at the arrows. Trying to hit like 9 down lane, 8 maybe. Not bad. I'll take it. It was about 9-10 down lane. So that was a good shot, and it got that strike. So that actually looks pretty good. So my next thought to try ball-wise is the IQ-AI, which is pinned down with a 5 5/8 inch pin. My all-time historic favorite layout to put on any ball. 70 by 5 5/8 by 75. So now same spot, 24 with my feet, 11 at the arrows. Let's see. Little left. Okay, so I missed a little left, but the ball still had a really good shape. All right, Zen U. We are gonna stand 27, slowing it down considerably. 27, looking at 13. Ooh, she bit. There's not a lot of hold there, but I can use that at normal speed to help make the ball shape a little less and not have to slow it down as much as I just did. All right, a little faster, same line. All right, got a light mixer. That was actually pretty good. So I like the line. The only other thing I want to try there is trying the level from that same line, standing 27, and see what happens. 27 with my feet still, just like the Zen U was, and 13 at the arrows. Hair inside. Ooh. I missed a board inside, hit 14. Didn't get the ball out as far right as I was hoping, but it was close. And I stoned a 9 pin, so that's a great sign. The ball really floated. So I definitely think that there is something playable towards the middle part of this pattern. And what that's probably going to lead people to do is, my guess, is take urethane, stand left, and just slow wheel it. Especially with how many mills are out there, I don't think that'll be an issue because it'll just keep creating hold and hold and hold. And so I think that that's going to be the biggest thing out there at the tack. So if I had one prediction for how the lanes are likely going to play and the strategy most people are going to try, be that one. So now let's try another shot with the level from a touch further left and see if that hold still exists. I'm now going to be standing 29, looking 14. Okay. Okay. I think I might have found where the pattern wants me to play. That actually looked really good. I could even use a ball like my IQAI from that spot, I guess. That would look really good. And so I'll try that, because having a ball that's a hair cleaner wouldn't be a bad thing as the lanes start to transition. Not that they really have any transition on them right now, but with this ball, the IQAI at 4,000 right now, even if it had 3 or 2,000, it would still be better for when the lanes do break down on that kind of line. So let's see what happens. And not quite up the corner. So the lack of surface actually gave it that extra skid. So it's not quite there yet. That ball would be phenomenal for the breakdown. Well, let's try something very different, like my Sublime Focus from 900 Global, and see what that ball does. 29 with my feet, 14 with the arrows. Oh, I leaked it right. Hook. Kind of close. Missed it right. And that one tried to hook back, so not a terrible sign. We'll try it again. So this Sublime Focus is finished at 363,000 to kind of mimic a lane shine type of finish. And I really like it at that finish. Good shot. So I'm really liking how that looks. I don't think the asymmetric balls are going to get much play on this type of pattern because of the length. Being rev dominant as well, it's a little tougher for me to throw the asymmetric options because they tend to tip a little too soon. And I know we've seen that with the Effector edition. Now I'm going to try the Effector from that spot and the Hyperdrive. And then I think the Idol Cosmos would be an excellent choice for like an in-between between the Sublime Focus and the IQAI. I also have a Zen 25 that would fill that spot. But my thing is, the Zen 25 is a bit more sharp off the spot for me than the Idol Cosmos. So I think the Idol Cosmos is going to be the one to go with out of the two. But let's try the Effector edition first. Great shot. But see, the difference between the Sublime Focus and the Effector edition is so vast, because the Effector just tips so much sooner and makes a heavier roll to the pocket because of the asymmetry in the core. All right, so a few of the things that I have noticed, because I've bowled a couple of games on this pattern so far, where I tried using some more asymmetric equipment, just seeing if I slow it down and throw it kind of towards the hang spot down lane, it seems to look okay, but I just don't get much misroom with that. So I'll show you an example here, standing on 27, looking at like 11, 12. See, if I get the ball going too far right down lane, it is absolutely gone and not even thinking about hitting the head pin, let alone the 3-pin right there. But you get it about a board, maybe a board and a half left of that down lane in your pocket, you're flush. But how reliable is that? Not reliable at all. I've even considered, I tried throwing some stronger equipment like my Paragon Shadow and the Hyperdrive and the Effector edition all up the gutter, but those are really inconsistent too. So I'll show you here what it actually looks like to get it to bank off the gutter here. Like that. Where it does roll, it does hook, and I slowed it down even more than the last shot there. But the other thing I'm noticing is that speed control seems to play a huge factor in this pattern. If that gutter does have the hang spot like it does here, which I'm not sure if it will, but if it does, I'll definitely want to keep it a little slower. So now that I've got plenty of shots on this pattern and kind of looking over things, I think using the Sublime Focus might be one of my more ideal lines, maybe the level even as well. And I'm going to try and showcase that if I stand on 28, looking at like 13 here and slow it down a little bit. Kind of like that, where that's the kind of line that I'm expecting with resin, that is. I'm sure the level would be a little similar if I just move a little right, since it's not as clean and a little smoother. But with urethane, I've seen a couple of really interesting, moves that I can make. I was able to slow down with the IQ78, get a little more motion out of it to the pocket from closer to the gutter, not quite on the gutter, but definitely closer to the gutter. So I'll show you one of those shots right now too with urethane with the IQ78U. The Zen U is a little tricky and it needs a surface adjustment, but if I continue to throw it slow, then I need a little less surface, and if I continue to throw it a little faster, more surface. But for now, let's show the IQ78 nice and slow here up the right side, looking at 4. See, that's not bad, but it did bite a little bit. It does have that fresh 500 on it. So with that said, I'm gonna speed it up from the same spot with my feet and target just a little bit and see what happened. Good shot. Ooh, sewn that 9-pin, almost had the 4 trip into it. So that's a really good sign, because I can use a ball like that or even the level if I want to hair more motion, but I don't need it right now. I can use that IQ78 from that kind of line very, very comfortably. And if I want to get a hair more mistroom right, maybe move a hair more right, add more surface. But the thing is, at the Orleans, the gutter is likely to hook a little bit more than it does here at Kingpins. So that's probably going to be something along the lines that I'm thinking, but I still stand behind my statement. What we'll likely see a lot of people try is slow wheeling the urethane balls. I'm just going to move half a board left. Same speed. Oh, I leaked it a hair right, but the ball picked up with that fresh 500 and it actually carried through the pins really well. That's what I love about the IQ78U specifically. It does not hook a lot, but the times where I do want it to hook, it actually finds a way to dig in and hook. So that is a really, really good sign on this pattern, but I do have to keep it a little slower. That's not my normal speed. If I throw at my normal speed, I'm probably missing the head pin. So instead, just playing here, same line, same speed, everything. Just want to repeat here and maybe throw a better shot even. That one I got a little left, so I would expect it to go a little high as it did. But that tells me I've got that little bit of mistroom right. It did not split from left, and so I really like that area. I'll throw one more shot with that ball, throw a shot with the level, and wrap up for the day. That's a good shot. And you see I get that light mixer in there. So that shot was excellent off my hand. Speed was great, targeting was correct. So I really, really like that reaction. All right, so we're still standing on 13.5, looking at 4. Hair left. Ball went left as you would expect. So that shows me that the mistroom left on this pattern is going to be kind of tricky, because at the beginning, you're not really going to see any, but then the more and more that people throw urethane, the more carry down you'll notice. And the more left mistroom you're likely to have, because it's pushing down that oil and increasing the length of it a little bit by a little bit. Good shot. And you can see it carries through and attacks the pin straight through the pocket. Split the 8-9. Definitely like that shot off my hand. So the two play really well off of each other. I can keep more surface on one, which would probably be the level, because it retains the surface longer. And I can keep a hair less on the IQ78. And then I'll keep some on my Zen U in case I need it and want to jump left like I've discussed. As far as it goes, I think my arsenal is looking pretty set. I definitely am taking 6 with me because I'm flying out to Vegas. I'm considering shipping a few more, 2 more. With that said, it's definitely looking like urethane balls. I will definitely have the IQ78, the Zen U, and the level. I'll have the Sublime Focus for 5, Probably bring the Effect Tour Edition, and if I do end up shipping some balls, IQ AI for sure, and probably the Swag Fusion as well. Shout out to Swag because I love that ball, and it's symmetric, so it'll probably be a good ball to help with. Overall, nice to have in the bag. So thank you guys for joining me today. Again, use code FloppyPenguin10 as it appears on your screen now for 10% off your next order at Coolwick. And this has been a great video. I'm looking forward to more content, as tomorrow, as you see this video come out, tomorrow I'll be flying to Vegas for the TAT True Amateur Tournament. Shout out to Jamie and all the crew that run the True Amateur Tournament out there in Vegas. They do a phenomenal job of running an amazing tournament. That's why I continue to bowl it every year and highly support it. I am a recruiter, so if you ever want to go, get in contact with me, leave a comment below, and you'll get a $25 discount off of your entry fee next year for your first time going to the TAT. So thank you guys so much. Share this video with any friends or family that you know that are going to the TAT to bowl or have bowled in Vegas before. And I look forward to seeing you guys out there whenever I get there. See ya.